Hello, my cute, cuddly Cancers. Welcome, welcome. It is Sachi the Scorpio, and I'm here to deliver your guided healing tarot for the month of April. Please like, comment, and subscribe. The more energy that you send to me, the more energy that I can send to you. And thank you so much for all of your support on this channel, Cancers. Please do remember that the top 3 videos to get the most likes will get a twin flame bonus for the next month. My private readings are currently closed until further notice, but keep an eye open for when I'm opening up again. And okay, so this is what came out in the cleansing ceremony. We had childhood innocence come out. So this was telling me that you've been doing a lot of inner child work, really looking back on your past of, you know, when you were little and how that influences who you are today. Okay, and there's definitely some innocence to this, right? Of like, how things that have happened to you in the past, like, were not your fault in any sort of way. It very much feels like you're finally recognizing, like, you know, I'm not to blame what has happened in my past, right? Like, I was a child and innocent in all matters involved. Especially we had whale breach. So this tells me that there was some sort of breach of boundaries here. So, you know, anytime where your autonomy or your boundaries were not respected and, you know, negative consequences happened, right? Pain, suffering, trauma, whatever it may be, that it wasn't your fault, that you really were innocent, no matter what you were doing or whatever. So these also came out and then they wanted to hide and I couldn't figure out why. And then Spirit told me that some of you, we have ceremony invocation in reverse and ancestor generation in reverse, telling me that some of you have slipped up on your ancestral worship practice, or that you haven't connected to your ancestors at all. So that is a suggestion. You know, ancestor worship is always a good idea to engage in because it helps heal your own DNA, right? Because, you know, inner child healing is, yes, on the one hand, you know, like spiritual time travel, but the other half of it is also ancestral worship of altering and releasing the karmic DNA that our ancestors have passed to us, right? So it does look like you're doing one, but one is kind of not being dealt with at this time. Anyway, so then we had the Queen of Pentacles come out. So honestly, I was getting how this relates to the mother and the father, even though it's the queen, but it's like this queen always has her king around. So I feel like there was some like codependency between the parents. It could be a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo that you were working with and having to deal with your divine feminine energy. But in general, it feels like how you were programmed to, like, your own divine feminine energy and what you were expecting in the physical realm. So that has to do with, like, you know, a physical relationship, how someone physically shows up for you, or, you know, how someone shows up to you when it comes to money or housing or, you know, anything tangible. So this is your divine feminine energy. And with the Seven of Swords, it feels like you're really understanding how you got into some whack soul contracts in your past, you know, and you were innocent. A lot of this has to do with your childhood once again. So, and how, you know, your boundaries were breached, you know, things that you didn't want have happened. And these were just bad soul contracts. Like, it can especially have to do with romantic relationships, because Seven of Swords, you know, 7 is the number of one-on-one partnerships. It's also legal stuff. So it feels like, you know, you could have realized you got in some, you know, bad soul contracts, even legal ones, right? Family members are, you know, legal connections that we have, like to our parents and such. But yeah, it seems like you're understanding, like, yeah, those were bad soul contracts is what I want to say. With the Knave of Swords coming out and how this influenced kind of like underdeveloped communication in general, right? Seven of Swords is communication within one-on-one relationships. And it's like, you know, it goes from the basis of how you learn that from your parents, and how that imprinted on your own feminine energy and what the feminine expects from the masculine in the physical world. And, you know, knaves for me are underdeveloped energy when it is masculine and feminine energy. So how this has, you know, caused some sort of communication issue of what the feminine needs in the physical world. Okay. And with the Two of Chalices and the Stars, both in reverse, like Two of Chalices, that's soulmate relationship. Stars is alignment. So this is telling me, like, you have finally understood how innocent you were at these breach of contracts that, you know, bad soul contracts that you didn't like, that brought in like karmic soulmates that were just not aligned with your divine path. You know, it just really feels like you're finally like, you know what? Yeah, like I had a contract with them. I accept that there was some sort of, you know, karmic duty or something like that with them. But it feels like you're understanding the innocence. I don't necessarily see you getting out. Maybe that's what's coming, but it looks like you're really in like the conclusion paragraph of this chapter is what I want to say. And then we had Kurvana using scary face. So I feel like some of this could have been like scary faces that you have, like that you saw as a child. So that can be like, you know, negative shows that you're watching, like scary shows even. And how that's like traumatizing for a child just in general, like evil things that you see on television and things like that. But I was also getting that like people when you were younger made scary faces at you, whether it was like your parents when you were angry or, you know, just like strangers on the street, and that kind of darkness that just imprints on the innocence of a child, right? When it like gets scared. So it feels like that's kind of like the root of it, of where this shadow, this darkness is coming from. And I like heard for some of you, it might give you like a resting bitch face or something. Like that's kind of how you are right now, is like resting bitch face about this situation. Like, damn, I had so many bad soul contracts. Well, now what? And I was also getting here like, that your ancestors, like your, you know, anyone in your lineage hasn't really taught you how to do certain ceremonies of like, you know, manifesting or things like that. So, you know, learning the craft or the, you know, how to manifest and things hasn't been passed down in your generation, like through your generation. And then we had Scyther using swords dance. So it felt like you're kind of in this resting bitch face mode of like, ugh, like these soul contracts that I had to do. And now it's a swords dance in your heart, where like your heart is really, right, and swords is communication of, you know, it's like you're trying to do a very delicate dance around the heart to make sure that you are staying in a frequency of love while also understanding how you were in some really terrible soul contracts at no, you know, at no fault of your own. Okay. So lots of interesting energy, coming up here, Cancer, that came out in the cleansing ceremony, but, Happy New Year, right? It is Aries season. So the spring equinox marked the beginning of the astrological new year. I'm sure that you have been feeling all of the, you know, different energies compared to just last month. So this month, what we are going to do is take a look into what new beginning is coming towards you. Okay. And then we are going to take a look at what is the blockage of the new, beginning that's coming towards you. And then in the extended, we will take a look into how we can overcome that blockage, and then some advice on how to manifest your highest vibrational timeline, and of course some oracle pieces as well. So let me get a sip of water. Make sure you're staying hydrated, Cancer. Us water signs, man, we need the water. All right, so what new beginning is coming towards Cancer? Please show me. Okay. Tsunami wake-up call. It's funny. I saw this in the cleansing ceremony. It wanted to peek, but then the other ones that peeked and like came out and then wanted to hide. I was like, okay. So anyway. So with the tsunami wake-up call coming out in reverse, it feels like, you know, here's the water. I was just talking about the water, okay? And it feels like there's some sort of cycle that hasn't been completed with this full moon here, where you haven't gotten a full wake-up call when it comes to the emotions. And honestly, I'm feeling like this is the full moon in Capricorn that comes in Cancer season. But let's see. Tell us more about that. Desert Vision Quest and Dragonfly Emergence. Okay. So as I'm saying, stay hydrated, right? Because I was also getting like these like big emotional rifts, like that's no longer needed. Like, yes, you need to stay hydrated and drink more water, but you don't need water that's like this, that's this chaos. Okay. You don't need to have a tsunami, because the new beginning, it looks like with Desert Vision Quest, you are meant to go on some sort of vision quest, which is into the desert, right? Being dry. So, you know, this is, you know, make sure, of course, you're staying hydrated. But this is actually going into a situation that is a bit devoid of the emotions, and you are not meant to emerge from this vision quest for quite a while, right? The desert is being by oneself. And you know, the vision quest is when you go and wander into the desert and you eventually hallucinate, right? And that's how you get your messages from spirit, when it's just you connecting to, you know, the otherworldly. So for some of you, there might be some, you know, altered states of consciousness sort of thing going on here. For some of you, this could be, you know, like getting dry is a, you know, slang term for, you know, like getting sober. So some of you might be doing that. Let's see, what's this new beginning? Ooh, Knight of Pentacles. Okay, yeah, you're moving forward in a very stable way. Like, this is planting new seeds. You might be like, okay, this vision quest, what I'm getting, it's like, because, you know, the Knight of Pentacles is all about moving forward in a very slow and stable way. The Knight of Pentacles teaches us slow and steady wins the race. This has to do with physical things. So, you know, money, housing, a new physical project. You know, he's planting new seeds in a garden. And, you know, now is the time to understand what your vision is, but it's like the point in time right now is to plant the seeds. You don't necessarily have to be, how do I say it? You know, there might be some things on the back burner that you're, you know, pulling the fruits from, so to speak. But it's more so about laying the foundation of new things. Okay. And understanding that you're not meant to emerge from this vision quest. You know, you are meant to go into the desert, you know, alone, figure out, right? And when you go on a vision quest, it's usually because you have some sort of question. You know, what am I going to do with my life? What do I want to do? This is this, right? So, and sometimes maybe you just need a message from spirit in general. So, you know, determining what you want out of this and then not emerging from it, really dedicating yourself like, yeah, I'm going to wander around and, you know, figure out what I'm going to do. Some of you might be fasting. I know Ramadan is coming up. But yeah, this is going to be a slower process. Okay, so this is not something that you jump in and then you do it and you get out. This is like an actual journey. Okay. Three of Wands in reverse. It wanted to hide. There could be some sort of third party here, maybe that you don't necessarily want to talk about. Or it could be a third party that you are letting go of in some sort of way. Or not allowing yourself to be a third party to something. Because I'll be real with you, Cancer, this is my fucking, excuse me, the mailman card. So I usually, like, the Three of Wands can indicate like a third party sexual relationship, which doesn't have to be a cheating sort of situation. There could be polyamory involved here for sure. But hold on, tell me more about this Three of Wands. There's two different ways that this can go is what I'm feeling. Yeah, the Nine of Swords. There's a lot of messages coming through. And I feel like you have become so tired of getting messages from multiple different sources. And it might be maybe that you're watching like a lot of tarot, like too much tarot, or, you know, going to multiple people for advice, or really just getting so many signals from the universe in general. And that can happen, right? Especially when we start getting connected to spirit. We're going to get signs from everything, you know, and this is like you alone that's getting, you know, a message from bat spirit, dragonfly spirit, spider spirit, vulture spirit, fairies, you know, like this is a lot. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's like too much to handle. Like mentally, it's just like, oh, download after download. And, you know, so it's like so much information is just pouring into your crown chakra. And it's kind of hard how to put the pieces together. You know, this is going to be a slower journey to try to figure out what is part of this vision quest. But what I'm getting is that's why you need to separate yourself from this and go be by yourself here, like in the desert. This is a spiritual journey of solitude. What's the light energy? I heard like this could be two situations, okay? Oh yeah, I picked up on that before. So I do think that this can go both ways. So we have timber with pound in reverse. So some of you are going to be exercising and like losing some pounds, I'm hearing. Let's see the other way. Not that it matters. And Shellos, regeneration. Okay. So yeah, there's two ways. One, this is like you are going to be fighting and building something that you want with timber. This is really like building the foundation of things. For others of you, you're regenerating the waters. By you going into a dry place, it actually helps the waters within your twin flame journey. Shellos I take as the twin flames. As you can see, the masculine and feminine are there. So there's definitely a choice of which way to go. And, you know, Spirit is emphasizing that aspect of free will, that of course you have a choice. But there really are two different paths to go here, Cancer. So it's like a choose your own ending, right? It says it fights by swinging a piece of lumber around. It is close to evolving when it can handle the lumber without difficulty. Yeah, so this is like, you know, the burdens that you're carrying as lumber. You're just going to get so agile with them at strengthening your, you know, your fighting energy, fighting for what you want, that the burden isn't even going to be that much to bear anymore. Okay. I'm also getting, you know, part of this is just getting strong in general. So this can be, because it is Pentacles, so this can be financial might, you know, but I really feel like a lot of you are going to be like lifting weights or getting healthy. This has nothing to do with, you know, fat phobia or anything of that sort, but this is like really focused on being strong and like gaining muscles just so you can lift heavier stuff. Honestly, it feels like that's more the goal of like, yeah, I want to be able to do that. You know, I want to be able to do a pull up, or I want to be able to lift this box without like hurting myself. You know what I mean? And then the other way, like I said, this is a regeneration of the twin flame situation. It says, for the most part, it makes its homes along the seashore. Its color and form differ according to its habitat and the quality of its food. So it's talking about making its home along the seashore. So I feel like, you know, there is a second way to go where this vision quest into the desert is not too far from the seashore. Okay. And I can definitely feel you and Capricorn balancing this out. This is very similar, right? And Capricorn's your sister sign. So you rule the same axis, and theirs is all about the land and the sea. So you might want to check that out if you're dealing with a Capricorn or if Capricorn placements, because that shoreline is definitely part of this narrative as well. It talks about, yeah, making its home along the seashore. So for some of you, you're going to be jumping more on that and going into the emotional part. So again, you have the free will of not getting dry. You have the free will of still staying near the shore and going into the water when you want. You are a crab for after all, you know. And its color and form differ according to its habitat and the quality of its food. But just recognize that the environment that you are in and the quality of food are going to be altering how you are manifesting as a divine feminine and a divine masculine. Okay. And as you know, the food that you eat break down into the basic, you know, biological components that are then recycled into your cells, right? What you eat literally becomes you. And the way that that is also altered is based on the environment that you in. That's the basis of epigenetics, of how we are genetically programmed and how we interact with the external world as a constant, you know, signaling system, basically. So be very aware. And I'm getting that, you know, that new beginning, it looks like you're going more into understanding, how your environment and food is influencing your emotional body here, as well as your throat chakra. So, like I said, there's two different paths here. You can choose which new beginning. Let's see what's in the shadow. We'll do the shadow for the timber. Yeah, again, we have a fighting type. So this is really you fighting for what you know you deserve and what you want, and you know that it's your turn to get out of the water because someone else needs to get in the water. It's like, again, it's like you can choose which way you're going to go. Are you going to get in the water, or are you going to go to shore and, you know, do the work that you need to do in the dirt? Okay. Because it looks like you, and of course, Mother Moon, Cancer, this is you. You know what the power, what you can do, right? To your own emotional body and to others. So you can cause tsunamis, but it looks like this new beginning is giving you an opportunity to not be in those crazy tidal waves all the time, and instead go on the vision quest in the desert. So yeah, we have another fighting type. Like I said, this is also the sacral chakra. So it really is, you know, strengthening yourself and strengthening your own sacral chakra, which is how you emotionally and sensually connect to others. And also, you know, your creative energy is also, you know, how you intend to create the energy after Kundalini. I mean, like after it's raised from the root chakra. So yeah, we have Golett using dynamic punch in reverse. So I'm getting that it's like, this is not, you're not actually like fighting anybody. Obviously there's no like punching, and I don't feel like, again, this fighting energy is not aggressive. You know what I mean? This is very like, all right, like I'm not trying to get strong so I can kick someone's ass. I'm getting strong so I can build things easier, is honestly what I'm getting. Like just having a better control of your life, whether it's your body or, you know, with your financial might. Let's see, we have, these Pokemon are thought to have been created by science of an ancient and mysterious civilization. Okay, well, starseeds. It's funny because I was thinking about like starseed sort of energy. So some of you might be, you know, getting more into your starseed mission. This definitely gives me some like ancient alien vibes sort of thing. You know, that I'm also getting that you're going to be getting more into like the science of getting stronger, like figuring out exactly what you need to do. Like what does this muscle need? You know, what does it need me to do movement wise? What kind of, you know, vitamins and minerals does it need? Like what are the biological components to getting strong? Like what do I need on a baseline? Because, you know, we have a list of amino acids, right? And of which ones you need, right? So, yeah, it looks like you're getting down to like the fine print of things is what I want to say. And also, again, if it's not your body, although I am getting for a lot of you, it is your body. It feels like, you know, like how do you build like wealth or financial freedom or something like that? You're like, all right, let me figure out exactly what I need. Like, what are the bare minimum things that I need to know? Like, really start, again, it's like planting seeds. These are new things that you are doing that look so good for you in the future, honestly. Let's see. But if we go the other way, let's see what happens. We have Carablast using Peck. So this is going to not be the greatest for your heart chakra. It's going to be like someone's pecking at your heart. And, you know, this is another one of my Twin Flame cards because Carablast has this other Pokemon called Shelmet, which is like a knight in a helmet. That the only way that they can evolve is when they're next to each other. So I very much take that as, you know, how your twin, like this can make you genetically evolved by doing this, just by learning it, right? Learning the food science, learning the foundation, learning to exercise, things like that. Or you can go through the Twin Flame journey that hurts your heart. And it will, again, like, you know, what you're eating and what your environment that you're in, as well as the stimulation from this journey is also going to cause evolution and genetic upgrades, right? Because you guys can stimulate pathways in each other that other people can't. So it says these mysterious Pokemon evolve when they receive electrical stimulation while they are in the same place as Shelmet. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so either that or you stay to say you regenerate your Twin Flame sort of thing and have it hurt your heart and get your upgrades that way. So it's a 50-50 thing. Obviously, some of you are going to do one, some of you are going to do the other. It does feel like a split. This is a splitting of timelines, Cancer. You have a pretty big decision to make here. Well, let's see what the blockage is. Cave, sanctuary. So, you know, how you feel safe. Honestly, your sense of safety is the blockage. It could be also like where you're living, some sort of, you know, maybe you're stuck inside for some reason. And because, you know, to go on a vision quest, right? Like, what are you going to do about things about home or something, right? Like, how do you go on that? So it seems like for some of you, you're just stuck is what I want to say. It might be legal reasons and stuff. We saw that Seven of Swords energy, and that can be a shitty soul contract too, right? Like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to spend like how many years inside not going out, right? All right, so I'm going to ask for one more. We'll keep with the splitting. Yeah, this one. Okay, and river movement. And it's kind of coming out in reverse. So it feels like if you regenerate this water, you know, it's like there's not really that much movement in the emotional journey here. Because, you know, again, it really feels like how you're sharing that axis with Capricorn. If you don't get out on the beach, Cancer, Capricorn's not pulled in that water, and it feels like you were in the water while they were climbing up the mountain for so long. So, yeah. Let's look more into this. Tell us about the sanctuary cave. Two of Wands, Eight of Chalices. You know, yeah, so Two of Wands for me, of course, is the twin flame card, but this is when you're a twin flame solo, right? Four of Wands is twin flame connected. So this is you using your magic on your own, and there is some sort of emotional cycle that is repeating, but it's like you're looking for the answer in a book or something. It's like you're looking for an answer to an emotional problem that you can only really solve by going through it emotionally. Okay. So yeah, it looks like that something about the twin flame journey here in the sense of safety or being stuck inside. Or again, like just trying to find the answer anywhere out except inside of yourself is really the blockage here for that journey. Let's look into the movement. Two of Swords in reverse. There's a lot of, I'm getting like so much anxiety right now. So I feel like there's a lot of anxiety that's blocking this communication in general. Like Two of Swords is a conversation that should be between two people, but it only happens like in one person's mind. But it's like, you know, the blockage is that it just feels like mental anxiety and chaos. Tell me more about this Two of Swords, please. Ten of Chalices and the Moon in reverse. Yeah, it's like keeping like not wanting to keep things hidden. It's like you don't want to keep any sort of secret about, or someone else not to keep a secret about some sort of union. This might be a marriage. This might be, you know, some sort of wish fulfillment is the Ten of Chalices. And it's also a common wish fulfillment, right? Two people coming together that both want the same thing. And in this card, it is people getting married. Like, so it's like getting rid of all of the secrets and the subtleties and things like that. It's like having that energy, but just not like having too much anxiety to talk about it. It's a little, yeah. And that is causing, you know, there to not be that much movement in the emotional world again, you know? It's like nothing will emotionally change. Let's look in the light. That's too many. Cancer, there's so much going on here. I'm gonna bring some more light in here. Sorry about that, Cancer. Jeez Louise. All right, what's the light energy? We have Stoutland using Giga Impact. Yeah, this has had a really big impact on you. This like isolation, your sense of safety, especially with the Two of Wands. Yeah, it's been a very, very big impact, especially when it comes to communication here. It says, this extremely wise Pokemon excels at rescuing people stranded at sea or in the mountains. So, yeah, it feels like the blockage again is like, oh, I have to stay inside to be safe, da 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 da. And, you know, like someone's going to come rescue me, whether it's like your twin or, you know, oh, if we just find the answer in a book of how to solve this problem, then everything will be saved. It definitely feels a lot like what's going on, you know, globally sort of thing. It feels like you thinking that someone's going to solve this problem instead of you taking, you know, your own autonomy about it is really the blockage here. Let's find the shadow. We have Fomantis using leafage. So there could be also a blockage here. You know, mantises are feminines that eat the men's head off after they mate. So there can definitely be this very cutthroat type feminine energy is what I'm getting here, especially when it comes to, you know, the heart chakra and things like that, and maybe how it relates to food or money. It says, they give off a sweet and refreshing scent. Cutie fly often gather near the tall grass when Fomantis are hiding. Yeah, so it's funny because, you know, as you do this, it's changing, you know, okay. So part of the blockage is your aroma, your scent, okay? So as your, right, as your DNA is changing, right, the way that your odors are being produced now is causing cutie flies, which can be like, you know, like, ooh, let me, ooh, you know, like just kind of fawning over you. It's causing people to come towards you that are like that are just like, oh, all about you, Cancer. But it's like you kind of just want to rip their head off after, you know, what they're good for. So that's a funny blockage, Cancer. All right, let's look at the other path. But that's why it's so important to watch what you're eating, right? Okay, we have Muscle Band in reverse and Trainer Buddy Buddy Rescue. Yeah, so they both have this same sort of like rescuing vibe. Okay, so no matter which way you take, you're very concerned on being rescued by some sort of savior or something. Like it's a bit codependent, if I may say, Cancer. Definitely a lot better than I felt before, but it's still like, come on, only you can do you. You know what I mean? With Muscle Band in reverse, both of them are Trainer, right? So that's the thing. It's like, you know, this other person isn't going to get focusing on getting strong. They're not getting strong. If you still stay at the shore, right? Like, you think they're going to rescue you, but it actually rescues them from doing what they need to do, if that makes sense. Because they don't get stronger, because it looks like you default again to just kind of staying in the shadows, even though you don't want these sort of things to be secret anymore. But let's see, what's the shadow here? Okay, that wanted to do quite the spin. We have Klefki, look for keys, and play rough. Yeah, so the blockage, again, this is like, you know, hiding key pieces of information on both sides. You know, and it, yeah, I mean, it's playing rough with a soul connection. You know what I mean? This is a soulmate relationship. So you do this, I do this. And it's basically, yeah, like, let's rescue each other and just, you know, you stay in the water and they stay out of the water. It says, the key collectors threaten any attackers by fiercely jingling their keys at them. Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of how it is. It's not really aggressive or mean here, but it's like, I have the key and you don't. You know what I mean? Of thinking that, like, the other person has the lock, right? In order to save them, right? Like, oh, you're in a locked room. Like, very, very similar kind of energy I get no matter which way you go, Cancer. So, All right, we're going to see how to overcome the blockage, and then also some advice on how to manifest your highest vibrational timeline. But let's see what angel wants to bring us into the extended. I do feel like the extended is merged into one path because the blockage is the same. Pretty much. We have sensitivity in reverse. Archangel Haniel, you are extra sensitive to energies and emotions right now. Honor yourself and your feelings. And I feel like, you know, you've kind of been blocking out some of the sensitivity of this because it's like, you know, here it's like, okay, you know, you're attracting things and you kind of want to rip their head off because, again, it felt kind of like a resting bitch face of like, ugh, the soul contracts. You know what I mean? And I totally understand because that can get you in a certain type of mood. But it does feel like you've kind of shut off one of the most beautiful things about you, Cancer, and it's that you are so sensitive to other people's emotional needs. I mean, it is good to be able to put up boundaries, but it feels like that maybe you're not honoring your feelings fully. Let's see. Let's get one more. This is going right to the clef key and the moon in reverse. All is well, okay? Archangel Jeremiel. Everything is happening exactly as it's supposed to. With hidden blessings, you will soon understand. Yeah, so that's the thing. No matter what, everything is still in divine alignment. And I'm really getting no matter which way you go, right? You do have free will. And that's one of the most beautiful things about being a human. So yeah, everything is exactly how it's supposed to be, and it looks like you will see why. So let's head into the extended. If you'd like to follow me there, the link is in the description box below. If we part ways here, good luck with the situation. I am sending you so much love, a big hug, and a kiss on your third eye. Mwah.